Hello, beautiful beings. I did something that has been making me laugh all day long, and I just got done. I was bawling, I was laughing so hard. So, I've told you about this man in the park where I live that I've been incredibly attracted to, but he's an alcoholic, and I do not get along with him at all when he's drinking. So I've been learning more and more about boundaries and, blocked him for several weeks. But we've been talking for the last couple weeks during the day. I decided that I absolutely will not interact with him if it's later at night. And that's been working out really well. And so that made it also to where I got to have his dog Ruby back in my life. I know I was crying about not having her in my life in one video, and uh, so yesterday there was a festival in the next town over, huge music festival, and he went to that, and I had Ruby, and I took her and Doozer to the river, and we just hung out for hours and hours, and then we came back here, and uh, I just love nurturing her. I'm her mommy. And I love dogs so much. I feel like I am part dog. I'm a lot like a dog. Anyway, so I knew the festival got over at 11 o'clock, and it's a ways away, so I thought he'll probably be back in the park around 11:30 or so. And I stood up from my table at 11:15 last night, and I said, Ancients, make it plainly obvious if I should take Ruby back to her place or if I should let Pat come and get her, because I don't want to interact with him when it's that late at night. He's guaranteed drunk. So my phone rang right after I said the make it obvious prayer, and it was him, and they said it's okay. And so I answered it, and he was in such a good mood, and he said, how's my princess doing? And I said, I'm doing really well. He was talking about his dog. And we laughed, and I said, would you like your princess back? And he said, yeah, I would. And I said, okay, I'll meet you halfway. And well, that's at his place because it's just a few spaces over. And so he was out leaning up against the back of his truck, and yeah. Anyway, so Ruby, went and said hi to him, but then she got behind me because she wants to stay with me. It's not that she doesn't love him, but it's that she gets a lot more nurturing, a lot different kind of care from me. And I was just like, it's okay, Ruby, it's time to go home. It's time to go night night. And he hugged me, and we haven't hugged for a month or more. And because I had him blocked for 2 or 3 weeks because he was still bombarding me with phone calls and messages, very unwelcome. Anyway, so I unblocked him and then realized that I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We get along really great during the day when he hasn't drank too much. So that's what we've been doing, and it's been going really well, and we laugh a lot, and it's good. I love that there's always another opportunity to find a better balance with things. Some people definitely need to be completely cut out of my life, and have been cut out of my life, and I probably will encounter some people like that that I won't be able to have anything to do with because they're not even good when they're sober. Anyway, I think I'm saying anyway a lot. Sorry about that. So yeah, he gave me a hug, and it was so nice. He's 6 foot tall, and I'm 5'3", and his hugs he just engulfs me in his hugs. And one beautiful thing about being empathic is I can feel when somebody's being genuine, and I can feel like with hugs like that, it was just so genuine, and just there was love there. Absolutely, absolute pure affection and love, and just really good feelings, and it was wonderful. I haven't had hugs from a man like that well, I've abstained from sex for, it'll be 7 years next month, but I didn't get hugs from that guy. No, I mean, it's been a really, really long time since I got hugs from a man. Anyway, so we walked over to the foot of his stairs, and I walked Ruby over there, and I was just like, it's okay, sweetie, it's time to go night-night. And, I let her up the stairs and put her in the house, and I came back down, and he was squatted down on the deck, petting Doozer, and I went over and stood beside him, and he grabbed me and sat me on his lap, and then hugged me like really intensely, and we stood up, and I was just like, oh my gosh. He said, you better go before I piss you off, because it's inevitable when he's drunk that he's going to say some asinine thing. I said, good idea. And I got a couple kisses, just little ones, but I wanted them. and And then I said, okay, good night, and literally ran home. It took me 20 seconds, but I knew when I got here I would have a message from him, and I did. And he was saying, and I knew what he was going to say too. He said, you need to come over and just lay down beside me, and I'll hold you, and we'll go to sleep. Well, everybody in the world knows that that's not what's going to happen. I'm, of course, going to make this video not made for children, so I can be completely candid. So, I didn't get mad about it. I didn't get mad like I have in the past about him being persistent, because I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to stay engaged in it. I don't have to try to defend myself or try to get him to understand anything. He's drunk. That's the definition of insanity. Trying to do the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And the even greater definition of insanity is trying to reason with the drunk person. They're completely unconscious. So, I told him why. I said, I'm just too attracted to you. I would not be able to lay there beside you and just go to sleep. I would not sleep all night. We would not sleep all night. And I'm just not going to do that to myself. I haven't abstained from sex for almost 7 years to have a one-night stand. I said the next time I do that is going to be with somebody I love and somebody that loves me, and we're actually in each other's lives. We're in a relationship. And this doesn't resemble that at all. He was just like, oh, we'll still be friends tomorrow. Well, we're not even really that great of friends. I mean, it's off and on. So I said good night, and I said, please, just please, Pat, I said, please be good to me tonight and just accept what I'm saying. And there was a long, long pause, and he said, I'm sorry. And then he said, just knock. So he hadn't given up quite completely. I spoke about being empathic, and one thing that has really drawn me to this person is the attraction is 100% mutual, and I can feel that, and that's very rare for me. It's been incredibly rare for me in my life to encounter a man that there's the equal attraction. And he's so much younger than me, and that has been a huge part of the attraction for me, is because somebody, so much younger and so good looking is just as attracted to me. And yeah, that could be a real ego boost, couldn't it? But I don't act on things that aren't for my highest good anymore, no matter how tempting, because I value myself and my purpose on the planet. And if I'm doing something that isn't for my highest good, it's not for the highest good of humanity. And it would be a real major setback for me if I would have actually went over there and spent the night with him. It would have affected me very, very badly. Well, I just don't feel like I have it in me to do that type of thing. I tried doing that in my life a few times throughout my life, just to get comfort. The last time I did it specifically was 7 years ago next month. It was after the person I have perceived to be my twin, after we separated. And I had been in pain before, I had grieved before, but I had never felt like that before. I felt like I was dying. And they're saying, well, you were in a way, but it was for your highest good. And I reached out to somebody for physical comfort, and it took 2 or 3 weeks talking to this person to convince myself that it would be okay, that I could actually trust him. And I mean, oh my gosh, he was just pouring it on. So nice, so understanding, so loving, so good looking. Um, yeah. And right after it was done, he literally pushed me away with his feet. Yeah, that's the divine never ever letting me get away with disrespecting myself, with reaching out for something that is not for my highest good. And specifically for, and it's such an energetic exchange. Yes, sure, for the man, but specifically for the woman, because we are plugged into. That man is plugging into us, giving us his energy and taking ours. It was quite devastating. It did not make me feel better. It made me feel worse. And so, I mean, I got my ass kicked hard enough that time where I was just like, I'm never settling again. I am never doing this again. I don't care if I'm single for the rest of my life. I don't care if I have sex. I don't have sex for the rest of my life. I'm never going to feel this again. It will have to be with somebody that I absolutely 100% trust, that we are best friends. We've created a deep bond, friendship, and it'll just progress to that gradually, and we will be in a relationship. So I'm worth that. I am 100% worth that. And there's got to be somebody else on the planet that respects themselves as much as I respect myself and their purpose on the planet too. And somebody that genuinely, really, really, genuinely wants to be my best friend. So where was I going with that, ancients? So as tempting as it has been with Pat, no, I've always known that I wouldn't go there, and I'm so proud of myself for that. And so that comes to today, this morning at about 11:30. This idea popped in. Just all of a sudden, I was cleaning my Monday Mary's house, and this idea came in, and I paused, and I said, "Is it okay if I do this?" And I got a total green light. Like I really didn't get anything. I didn't get a yes or a no, but I didn't get a no. So I did it, and I messaged him, and I said, okay, because this person can't remember anything. I think I've mentioned that before. I know there's blackout drinkers. I wasn't a blackout drinker. When I drank, I remembered every gory detail. But I used to have friends that were blackout drinkers, and all three of my daughters, their dad, he was a blackout drinker also, and they literally don't remember anything the next day. How horrifying. It really enables them to be able to keep drinking. To me, seems like it would have made me quit drinking sooner to not be able to remember. Anyway, so and also he had a traumatic brain injury, so I do feel like that has had he damaged his frontal lobe, so I believe that really has a profound effect on him when he drinks. Hence, when the anger that comes up when he drinks, I think it has a lot to do with his brain injury. Like my dad also, he had a brain injury also, and was angry when he drank. So I messaged him this morning and I said, I'm so grateful that I'm so happy I decided to come over last night. And I sent the lick your lips emoji and then a flame. And I mean, I was bawling. I was laughing so hard after I sent that message because I didn't go over. I'm not in the habit of manipulating people, but for some reason, this has just brought me so much joy all day long. Because see, if I would have went over there last night, he wouldn't have remembered any of it. None of it. Absolutely not one moment of it. No matter how amazing it was or how loving or any of it. No. How horrible would that have been for me? Just absolutely terrible. So now it took him almost 8 hours to love the comment. My phone doesn't do that, but a while ago I noticed that people's phones, they could either like or love one of my messages to them, and I was just like, great, that sucks. Even less human interaction. Whatever. So it took him almost 8 hours to love that message because he's been racking his brains all day, and he can't come to me and say talk about how great it was, and he can't say, oh, you're full of shit, you didn't actually come over, because he doesn't remember because he was really drunk. So I don't know if I'm trying to teach him a lesson or not, but it's super funny. I've already asked the divine, make it plainly obvious, if I should ever let him know that I didn't actually come over. But also, I'm seeing that he's going to stop asking me to come over just because of this, because he's been for over 3 months now really, really trying to get me to, be with him in certain ways. And I just absolutely will not. And I said, you would hate, at one time I said to him, you would hate it if I was easy. He said, I would effing hate it. It would be horrible. And, so I know he respects me, but anyway, so I just thought it was so hilarious. And I still think it's funny, because he thinks that he finally got what he wanted, but he doesn't remember any of it. And that's how it would have been anyway. So, oh, thanks for the kisses, Doozer. So who knows if I'll ever tell him. I'm not sure if I will or not. I've never ever done anything like this to anybody in my whole life. It's really harmless, actually. It's not hurting anybody. If anything, he could possibly feel really bad about it. Hopefully, that'd be good. One step closer to not drinking, right? I don't hold out hope that Pat is going to quit drinking and we are going to be together. I have entertained that before because the attraction is so great between us, and because when he's not drinking we do get along so great, but he's just too much younger. He will more than likely have children someday, and it's kind of just a setup for disaster, really. Even if he was sober, because no. No, I want something with somebody that I know is going to last, at least 30 years, 30, 40 years. Yeah, that's definitely doable. They're saying that's doable. Doozer, quiet. Doozer, stop. Doozer, be quiet. I think that's it for now. If you're having a hard time not disrespecting yourself, we would love to talk to you about that. If you believe what a man tells you and then you feel so let down and empty the next day because you really felt like it was love, we would love to talk to you about that. The one reason that I am not able to have one night stands is because I am so empathic, and the act of having sex feels very loving. It can feel incredibly loving, and it can feel like love. And I used to really mistake that for love. It took me a really long time to learn that that wasn't love. And that's why. It's because it feels like love. And especially in my experience, when a man has really wanted to be with me physically, they do act very loving, very kind, very open, all these things that would get me to do that with them. So, yeah. I just don't feel like I can be manipulated anymore, which is absolutely wonderful. I don't need to go to deep, dark places anymore. I do things for my highest good, and if they're for my highest good, they're for the highest good of humanity. I think that's it for now. SongwithmamaG@gmail.com. I love you so much.